ready to call a halt.
Well, I don't know what else we can do. I think we've given him enough time, don't you?
Well, the deeper we get into it, the more it looks like Miller's our man. I still can't make up my mind.
Why do you have to be stubborn about it, Joe? We checked every possible angle on his story. We still haven't got an ounce of proof this guy Paul he talks about even exists. We can't string along with Miller forever.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. We've given him a square enough break on it, haven't we? I still got that queer hunch, though. It's possible he might be telling us the truth.
Look, we've gone 4 straight days on it. We haven't come across one lead to back up his story. Too much for me. I can't buy it.
Sergeant?
Oh, hi, Miller. How are you?
Okay. Glad to see you.
Well, we've been looking for your friend, Miller, and we still haven't found a trace of him.
That's why I came down to see you. A friend of mine called me this morning. He knows this guy, Paul, I told you about. He said he saw him last night, going to a hotel down on South Flower.
How come we haven't heard from this friend of yours before? We checked through twice on a list of everybody you know.
This fellow's been out of town. Just got back yesterday. When he heard about the jam I was in, he called me about seeing Paul.
Mm-hmm. This hotel Paul was supposed to have been seen going into. You got the address, have you?
Yeah. It's over on South Flower, right near 12th. You want to go over there with me right now? This friend of mine wouldn't kid me. Paul must be there.
You're sure about that, are you?
He must be. I'll bet a month's pay on it.
You might be low, mister.
What?
Stands to cost you a lot more than that.
We went up to the 3rd floor to room 318, but the man registered as Paul Barton wasn't in. He'd left no word at the desk as to when he'd return. We sent Miller home and told him to wait for our call. Frank and I went on stakeout at the hotel. At 7:25 that night, Paul Barton returned to his room and we began questioning him. He showed no signs of being upset. His answers were quick, straightforward, and they seemed to make sense. The interview went on, a half hour, an hour, and Barton began to grow nervous. He contradicted himself. Big holes began to show up in his story as to how and where he'd spent his time the night of the hit-and-run killing. 8:45 p.m. Frank and I took Barton back to the office. We'd called Miller at his home. He was asked to come downtown as soon as possible. Meantime, we checked Paul Barton through R&I, and the questioning went on.
You're a little mixed up about that, aren't you, Mr. Barton? I thought you said you went to that bar downtown about 10 p.m., and then you went to visit at your sister's house. Now you tell us you went to your sister's house first, then you went to the bar downtown. Now, which is it?
That's getting a little high-handed, isn't it? Why do I have to account for my time to you?
If it wasn't important, we wouldn't be asking you. I think you know that.
I don't know anything of the kind. You're trying to take advantage of me. That's the only impression I get. I think I've answered enough of your questions. I'm going back to the hotel.
Just a minute, Barton. One more thing.
Yeah?
The last time you were arrested for a traffic violation, you want to tell us what the charge was?
What?
I think you heard me.
Well, that was a year ago. I was driving a little too fast going on Beverly Boulevard. What's that got to do with it?
Our record bureau says the charge was drunk driving. Your license was revoked.
Well, so what? I haven't been driving. I haven't been near a car.
What about last Tuesday night?
Huh?
Last Tuesday night, you do any driving then?
No, of course not.
Sure about that, are you?
You're not trapping me. I've answered all your questions. I'm getting out of here.
Just stay put, mister. You're not going anyplace. All right, Frank, you want to check outside, see if they brought Miller in yet?
Yeah, sure.
You
Thanks.
can't keep me here. It's illegal. You got nothing to hold me on.
Well, then you got nothing to worry about, have you? We got a guy by the name of Miller coming in. He says he thinks he knows you.
Miller? I don't know any Miller.
Nice going, Paul. Where you been? I said, where you been? What'd you do with the truck?
Why, you two...
Sit down.
I didn't do it. I didn't do a thing. You can't prove it. You can't prove I did.
They're gonna prove it, Paul. I'm gonna help them prove it. You sure been a real good friend.
Oh, give me a break, Danny. I didn't mean it. Honest, I didn't mean it.
I loan you the truck, you get boozed up, you run down the little kid and the grandmother. Then you take off, leaving me holding the sack like I did it.
I didn't mean it, Dan. It was an accident. I wasn't boozed up.
Yeah, you're a real good friend. I hope you get it in the neck. I hope you get it with both barrels.
It's not true, Sergeant. I wasn't boozed up. I only had 2 drinks. Believe me, that's all I had.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't have been drunk. It doesn't affect me that way. 2 drinks never hurt me. They never hurt me. I can prove it.
Don't prove it to me.
What?
That little boy and his grandmother, they buried him this morning. You go ahead and prove it to them, mister.
On February 28th, trial was held in Department 87, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. The suspect was tried and convicted of violation of the State Vehicle Code, Section 480, a hit-and-run felony, which is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for not less than 1 nor more than 5 years.